celebrity drama?
Drew Sidora, they're giving us the vibes as if she's dating Portia's ex.
Oh my God.
Check. Music, movies, and viral moments.
Gabrielle Union came out and said that she was doing 50-50 with Dwayne Wade. I have that audio just in case you didn't remember, so let's listen to that.
Check. Exclusives. Come on, y'all. Y'all know I got that over here.
Whatever Lauren says is law, yo.
The show with all the hot takes, zero filter. Welcome to The Latest with Loren LoRosa. I'm Loren LoRosa, and I'm going to be bringing you guys where pop culture meets personalities. And over here, baby, we are doing all the things. Give me my tens, because we're going to have a good time.
Come on.
And without further ado, I would like to introduce the woman of the hour. It has been a pleasure to grow a friendship with her and watch her bloom and fly. And I'm excited for all that is to come for The Latest with Loren LoRosa. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up, make some noise, and give a warm welcome to Loren LoRosa.
Yeah. Thank you, Ivy.
You're welcome.
What up, LL Cool Bay? Make some noise for LL Cool Bay, y'all.
Don't act crazy up here. Oh, I love you too.
How much you paying for that? We're happy to have you here, though. You know, we're happy to have you as part of the iHeart Black Effect family. But tell the people a little bit about your journey to get here. The long version, too.
Well, it's been a journey. I'm from Delaware. I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. I went to...
Ain't that many people in Delaware.
Don't be mad.
Cut it out.
Don't be... Y'all saw I looked at him first. Like, hey, Al, I didn't know you were coming. Hey, y'all. Well, I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. I went to Delaware State University after I graduated from a high school called Howard High School Technology. And all of the schools that I attended, it was like very important for you to get out and do something. I've always been doing a lot of this stuff. So, you know, getting on microphones, talking to people, just trying to, you know, tell stories. I went to LA. In LA, I found my way on this tour bus, the TMZ tour bus. I was doing that for some time. And then...
How'd you know you needed to be in LA? Like, what sparked in you in Delaware that said, you know what, I need to get to LA?
Well, first, I wanted to be here in New York. My mom and we spend a lot of time up here. We have family up here. So my mom was really big on, she would bring us up here, drive us through Times Square. We would go see our family. So I always knew that there was, a big entertainment industry. I just didn't understand how to make it a job. When I figured that New York wasn't going to work because I wanted to model, and they told me that I talked too much to be on the runway and that my boobs were too big, I was like, I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to become a celebrity there because TV's in LA.
So that's very important. So you just wanted to be a celebrity? Like, what did you want to do? What was the intention?
My intention was to become a couture runway model. And the reason why I wanted to do that was because I always felt like if you had influence, you could make money doing whatever you wanted. I grew up in a household where my mom was an entrepreneur, so I always knew that I wanted to be able to do whatever it was that I loved to do, and I was still figuring that out, but fashion was a part of my household for a long time. So I was like, okay, I'll do the fashion thing, I'll build the influence, and once I figure out what I really want to do, I'll be able to do that because now people will know who I am. So I thought modeling was going to do that for me. And I just honestly, I just really grew up liking to tell stories. A lot of the people in this room from Delaware, so Courtney, Javon, Ariel, we were producing fashion shows. We were 14, 15 years old. So we've always just been storytelling.
So you wanted to tell a story through the fashion?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I felt like designing, getting on the runway, putting together the outfits. I was very you know how people are hopeless romantics in relationships? I've always been like that about my career. So I was like, I'll get on the runway. I'll be able to influence people. And then I got in the castings and they're like, no, models don't talk. So I saw Rihanna on the cover of W Magazine with Iman. And I was like, wait, she's a singer, but she's on the cover of this really influential magazine with one of the biggest models in the world. I have to become a celebrity and then I can influence wherever I go and tell stories wherever I go.
Okay, so when did you realize you can't just be a celebrity? You have to actually have a talent and a skill set. When did you realize that?
I think that bubble burst when I graduated from college. And it was like, okay, now you're an adult and you got to pay for stuff. And I was like, there's a big gap between college graduate and celebrity with money. So I was like, I got to work. I got to get a job. And in doing that, I had really good jobs, but I'd always told myself that I wanted to do something that meant something because I was spending so much time trying to do it. And I just felt like for everything that I had done, for everything I worked for, even getting through college. I'm a first generation college student. So even getting through college was it wasn't a battle or a struggle, but I had to strategize so much. And I'm like, yo, if I'm taking all this time to strategize and do these things, like I want it to mean something. Like I want it to have some substance to it. So that's kind of where that came into play. And then I started seeing things. I started being exposed to like production and, news reporting and acting and like personalities and all these things. And
that was in college? Or?
That was in college, okay. Toward the end of high school in college. When you go to a HBCU, that's the beauty of it. My first day on campus, the first person I met was the host for all of the events. And I was like, this is God. This man is just walking around hosting things. He's able to, have audiences of 100 or audience of 2,000. He's not doing what I want to do with the audiences, but they're there. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I got to get on the microphone. I just got to figure out what I'm going to say when I get there.
What'd you major in college?
I have a business administration degree with a concentration in marketing.
Okay, so you go to LA, and your intention is to just be a celebrity.
Just get on TV.
And you ended up at TMZ. Was that your first gig out there?
That was not my first gig out there. I moved there for a PR job. And my mom, I remember, like my second week, I got a tape roll thrown at me. And I called my mom and was like, if I don't leave, I'm going to punch this lady in her face, so I got to go. That was my first job. I was there for about
tape roll?
Yeah, like a roll of tape.
Oh.
Yeah, working in fashion.
Scotch tape.
Yeah, working in fashion ain't no joke. So, she got upset in the showroom. She threw some things, and I was like, oh, I got to go. I got to get out of here. That was my first job, though. I moved there for that, and then I became a flight attendant, and then I got to TMZ.
See, I like all of that, yeah. I mean, because that's all part of a process, right? But did you still know in the back of your mind what it is you wanted to do? I'm trying to find that moment when you realize, okay, media is what I want to do. Was it at TMZ?
No, it was at TMZ. I didn't know that media was what I wanted to do. To be honest with you, the only media I really knew was like, at that time, it was like the girls online. So like Karen Civil, I had, of course, Wendy Williams. But for me, Wendy Williams was like, she was on the radio and she was on TV, but like radio first. I didn't really understand the first step to the other with her. With Karen Civil, it was like, oh, she's on the internet, so she's like me. Before that, all I knew was like the ASAP mobs and like the people that got fly on Instagram. I didn't know that there was like a business behind it and that you could tell stories and report. So then I saw Karen Civil, and then Baller Alert came around on Instagram, and I was like, oh, okay. And then when I got to TMZ and I was looking around, I was realizing what was happening. And I realized how everything that I had been doing up until that point, it like all clicked. And I was like, okay, media is important. This is where I'm supposed to be at. And if I do this correctly, all of these stories that I want to tell, it's going to start here. But I can do that in so many different facets because I'm watching TMZ crank out like specials, short films, breaking news daily, digital content, all with like a team of 150 people. News desk 6 people big, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay. But I'm also seeing how we sit in one place, like right here. We breaking stories right here in Africa, and all these places are being hit by the stories. And I was like, wow, like, okay. So celebrity is a thing, but there's like control and business behind this. That's when I realized it. I was like, oh, this is this is serious.
How'd you even end up at TMZ?
I just was looking for a job in entertainment, and TMZ Tour Bus was hiring. It was a Facebook group.
TMZ what?
TMZ Tour Bus.
Oh, I thought you said twerk-offs. I was like, TMZ twerk-offs. What the hell was that?
You want me to be a host so bad.
Like, TMZ Tour Bus.
Tour Bus.
And so you used to be, so you was one of those people that was on the buses like pointing at people's houses?
Not pointing. We weren't allowed to go to people's houses, but we would go to like Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive. We would take you past the Guitar Center, Hollywood, Walk of Fame, all that stuff. But I would have to get off the bus and go talk to celebrities. And that was when I realized, like, I'm not just like cute and on this bus. I really do this because all of the, they had like cute tour guides that would get off. You go grab the clips. It might hit the website. It might hit their social media. And TMZ was never social media focused. They were always focused on their .com. So stuff wouldn't make it to the website. I got on the bus and just started doing what I naturally knew how to do. They're like, okay, when you see celebrities, go and talk to them. So I made it my business to always know what was going on. So when I talked to them, I knew what to talk to them about. And my stories started like I would get on my phone and it'd be like, wait, is this me? This is my voice. You don't see me and they're not saying my name, but I'm like, oh, these interviews are being used and circulated on the .com to then the TV show to then all these other outlets. and I'm making $15 an hour working 2 hours a day. I'm like, hold up. Like, then I started realizing, like, oh, okay, this is a thing. Like, it's not just you're in front of the camera. It's like the circulation of everything, the attributions, like it was all slowly clicking.
So you pivoted to the production side of things.
I bullied my way into production side of things. I told them I was 2 years on the tour bus and I was so good at it that they didn't want me to stop doing it. They wanted me to do the paparazzi, so they wanted me to run down on people, and I was like, I'll be outside with these people. I'm not doing that. They wouldn't let me into the newsroom. They told me I wasn't ready for it, so they gave me a PA position. From the PA position, they tried to keep me there, so I quit. When I quit, they called me back and was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be on the news desk. And they was like, well, the news desk is hard. I remember Van was like, you going to try the news desk? I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. He was like, what, you trying to not have a job? And I was like, I promise you I can do it. They gave me an associate producer role on the news desk, and I was there for like a week, and I broke a story.
One thing I like about Loren is Loren always knows when to pivot. When did you know it was time to pivot from TMZ?
Oh, I knew for like a year. I just felt it. I felt like there was no more growth, and I felt like even if I had tried something new, I would be doing something new, but I would be going like this, which there's nothing wrong with going like this, but I felt like all of the skills that I had already learned and what I could obtain in addition to what I already had, I could do elsewhere while also going like this. So I just knew. I don't know. I'm really in tune. Like, you know, I have a really good spirit of discernment. Like, I really just knew.
Well, it's one thing to know when to pivot, but it's also another to know where you need to be. Like, that's where the discernment comes in. And, you know, I just saw this video recently, a couple of weeks ago. Like, you did a whole video basically saying you wanted to be on Breakfast Club.
Oh, yeah. I had always said, if I'm not working at TMZ, I'm going to be at the Breakfast Club, because who else is going to hire somebody who dresses like me, talks like me, and I didn't want to change that. I knew that going to L.A. Like, they tried to get me to do local news. Like, everybody was like, oh, just do local news, you'll get your reps in. I'm like, I'm not a local news girly. Like, it's not happening. So when I was leaving TMZ, I'm like, okay, if I don't work here, I used to jokingly say, like, if I'm not working here, I'm going to be at the Breakfast Club. If not there, I'm going to have to work for myself, because no outlet understands me and can get it. And then, boom, the seat happened, and I was like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? But I think that for me, that was like because I was so on the breaking point of, if I don't quit this job right now, I'm going to literally be depressed. So when that happened, I was like, maybe this is like a sign of, like, things are transitioning elsewhere, so they should transition for you too. Because I literally, the day before the announcement, was like, that seat ain't never becoming open. They don't just hire people, and then boom, the next day y'all trending on Twitter. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Let's see.
So it was your fault. You the one, you did it.
Was it my fault?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
No.
Let's move on.
Yeah, but your life has changed significantly over the last few months since you've joined us here at the Breakfast Club and iHeart. What has that pivot been like for you?
Man, that pivot has been, this pivot, because I'm still in it, has been crazy. Because it's like, normally with the pivots, is like, I kind of know when it's happening, and I know how to navigate it and have some time to sit in it and figure it out. With Breakfast Club and the way that y'all vehicle works, you don't really have a lot of time to sit in anything. It's like you'll sit in something, you'll get used to it, and then boom, something will happen. And then that will happen, and you'll sit in it, and it's a new level, and it's new people, and everybody's calling you, and then boom, something else will happen. And then boom, here's a great interview moment, and then boom, another story break. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's definitely been like, I needed the challenge. Like, I needed the elevation. I needed all right, Loren, get sharper. The pivot is happening every single day. Like, today, I had a meeting today where I was like, oh, wow, things are really about to go up. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, girl, they've been going up for like 2 months. Where you been at?
How do you stay grounded through all of this sudden change?
I keep really good people around me, like my friends and my family from Delaware are here. You quick to humble somebody.
It's not about humbling. I just have done this, so I already know all the pitfalls and obstacles that you're going to face.
Charlamagne will call you quick and be like, look, all right? But I think it's just the people in my life. And then also, too, for me, I just want to do good work. Like, I'm really, like, yes, I like to be cute and I want to be out. But that whole thing of, like, I want to be a celebrity, it's like, no, I want to sustain. I want to have legacy. I want to, have, like, something that my kids can feel and tangibly have. So I'm trying to put in really good work. And when you head down really doing work, the you don't even know not to be humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go places now, New York, outside of New York, and people will be like, yeah, something, 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 Loren. I'd be like, how do they know me? And I'd be like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Because for me, I come to work every day, and I just do my work, and I go home. But to the world, it's like the Breakfast Club. And I have to remember sometimes because I'm just at work doing the work.
It's funny, though, because, you started off saying you wanted to be a celebrity, and that's what I always find interesting about this generation. They want to be the celebrity first. But no, the work comes before that. That's why in my first book, I have a chapter called Put the Weed in the Bag First. Anybody in here who's seen the movie Belly, you remember when DMX was sitting at the table with the two young boys, and he was like, yo, I want to go out there and I want to get money with y'all. I want to get money with y'all. And DMX was like, man, shut up and put the weed in the bag first. That's what you got to do. You got to do the work first. And then that's where everything else falls into place.
But I think when you grow up in the internet era, because, like, I grew up watching people, again, like, the London Zylos, the ASAP mobs, like, the people that were using digital numbers to get anything and everything they wanted. They weren't working real jobs. So it looked like all they're doing is showing up big, and then, like, things are just happening. So, you try to emulate that. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, we've always had the following, and we always look good, but it wasn't getting me to where I needed to get me to. And when I got to TMZ, one thing that newsroom taught me, a newsroom in general, you can't play, you can't fake in there.
Nope.
I had to start from the beginning. Like, I had to be a PA because they wanted me to understand the brand. I came there with experience, with years of experience in doing different things. And they were like, no, you don't understand our brand, relax yourself. So that process and all that work that I put in and having to, like, sacrifice, I stepped away. I wasn't allowed to do panels. I wasn't allowed to do any of that. They didn't care about none of that. You had to be good at the job or you did not have a job. So going through that was almost like, I tell people, TMZ was like the boot camp that I needed, because now everything I do, if I feel myself getting to, like, the brand, it's like, let's take a step back and what's behind the curtain? Are we really doing the work? Because the brand is cute, but it can't sustain if, you know what I mean, the engine is all messed up.
Where did you learn to play your position at? That's another thing I noticed about you. Like, I'm the type of person, all I need to do is be in the room. And I'll go get the coffee, whatever it is I need to do. I feel like you are that same type of person. You know how to play your position. You just need to be in the room.
I think that was from, like, years of fashion. Fashion is really, like, friendly, and, like, they pay you for internships and all that now. But when we were doing it, like, internships and, like, working in fashion, I wish you would tell somebody what you're not doing. I wish you would not go take the trash out, even though you're supposed to be there dressing a celebrity. I wish you would, like, what? You don't have a job, you don't have enough, and if you don't have that, not only do you not have that internship, but that person who is head at wherever is going to pick up a phone and say, hey, she don't know how to do that. Don't hire her. So I kind of have been, like, hazed and worked into that because of my work background. But also, too, I think in my household is just, you oldest girl child. You play every position. You got to figure it out for the family, you know what I mean, for everybody. So that's just something that I think is innate, and I was raised that way as well, too.
Hustle like an intern. That's a life lesson. Never lose that. What's the preparation process to be able to pull off the latest with Loren every day? Not just as a segment on Breakfast Club, but as a whole podcast, a daily podcast now.
You got to know what's happening. So even here, like, before I came in here, I was like, let me check what's trending on social. Let me look at, you know what I mean? Just in case. I don't want nobody to, like, just in case anybody, like, pass away or something. If it's something big, I got to be like, y'all give me 10 minutes. But you got to know what's going on. You also have to understand, outside of what's going on, what people are talking about, how they're talking about it. You also just, I think, really understanding you guys and the brand. So, like, I watch you guys outside of the show. So what are you doing outside of the show? What are you interested in? How I can bring things in the room that, intrigue that and trigger that. But on the podcast side of it, one of the things that I recently learned within the last, like, week is just, like, being well rested and being in a very, like, focused and set state of mind is important, because it's just me. Like,
yeah, and you still in your outside stage. You still like to be outside.
First of all, I've been outside
drinking.
at work. I've been outside at work, okay? I didn't, because so much of the boom and the transition has been happening, I've been doing, like, it's like 3 or 4 shows, including Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. So I'm leaving the house to get to Breakfast Club by, like, 5:30. I get home at, like, 11 o'clock at night, pass out, get back up, do it again, and then I'm still prepping on both sides, as talent and as a producer for y'all. And I had to really have a real conversation with myself the other week and be like, all of this is great, but if everything is lackluster, nothing is going to shine. You got to take a step back, because the preparation is real. I'm watching interviews. I mean, I enjoy this stuff, but I'm watching interviews all the time. I'm watching social media all the time. I'm reading the .coms. I'm, talking on my way here. I got a phone call. I'm talking to my friends and, publicists, and they're letting me know what's happening, what's about to happen. I'm making calendar alerts to follow back up on things. You know what I mean? I'm doing all that. So that's the preparation. But my outside is a little different right now. So, give me my 10s.
What's important to Loren LoRosa right now?
Family, stability, rest, and focus and intention are really important to me right now.
In a space, like what you do that can be messy and salacious, how do you keep your integrity?
I just treat people how I would want to be treated. Like, I'm going to tell the truth. And I've realized from being at TMZ that is my job. I have to. If I sign up for it, I can't run away from it. But, I'll call you. I'll give you the heads up. There are some times where I choose not to report on things just because either I feel like, the story is unfair, or I don't have all the information, or I don't have both sides, and I never want things to come off one-sided. I'm learning how much people now just rely on my voice alone and not a brand. I'm used to being behind a brand where it didn't really matter, but now it's me. But the biggest thing is treating people how I would want to be treated. So, if I do something crazy, life be life, and I'm a human. If I make a mistake, if I mess up, you got to talk about it, but be fair. And I think that, even for the people who don't really care for me and what I do, they can't ever say I'm not fair about it. I'm going to call you. We going to talk. I'm going to call the other side. I'm going to, you know what I mean? I try to keep my opinion out of things face forward. So I always present fact, and then opinion will come in second because I want people to know the difference. And I think people appreciate that. That's why, even when I'm talking about something that their client don't like or they don't like, they still call me afterward. Like, hey, all right, that, got through that. Here's the next thing.
I think that's what's missing from the game, period. People, we make jokes about you always reaching out to your sources, but it is good to get, both sides. How do you do that without being influenced by the person you're talking to, though? Because sometimes the person will try to influence you just to, push a certain narrative.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Just because I've been doing it for a while, and I know that, if I'm influenced to push a certain narrative and that results, the first thing I think about is, if I get fired, this person's not going to pay my rent. I think about that all the time. I've had people offer me money not to report things a certain way or not to report things, not here, but in my TMZ days, because they got, real deep into people's things. But I always think about that. But I think now it's just, I have a confidence in myself of I know my intention. My intention is not to ruin somebody's life, ruin someone's career. I know that I'm careful about how I do things, and that's why I'm so careful. That's why I call so many people 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, because I would want somebody to do that for me. And I've had conversations with celebrities who've been like, yo, that headline cost me $40,000. That's how I feed my kid.
Damn.
And I'm like, but I didn't write the headline. Yeah, but you the only black face I know there.
Oh, you talking about when you was working at TMZ?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not now. I haven't had that happen now. I have had people get upset about some things that we've talked about up here. But to be fair, one of the things I try not to do now that I have the option to with you guys, TMZ was different. I had to go looking for it. With you guys, I don't necessarily have to go looking for things. And sometimes I'll come to y'all and be like, yo, what if and y'all be like, no. We don't got to do that here. But it's because I'm so trained to be like I'm like a trained sniper almost sometimes. And I be having to realize that about myself, woo, girl, you don't got to go that far. You don't got to call the FBI about boom, 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 boom. But because I have that ability to kind of be more human now, I lean on it, and I actually do it. So I know that I'm not doing anything that purposely, I'm not trying to take anybody down. I'm doing my job.
Because you know how things can be twisted and manipulated.
100%.
And you can be news real quick, especially in the space that you're in now. Okay? For those who haven't downloaded the latest with Loren yet, why should they? What makes what you do different than other entertainment news outlets?
First of all, who has not downloaded it yet? Oh, okay.
Damn.
What makes it different, though, is I think, first of all, no one else can be me. People don't have my my experience, my background, my personal experience that I'm putting into things. But also, too, I think if you look around the market right now, there's no one that looks like me doing what I'm doing the way that I'm doing it. You can't think of, and this is no shade to anybody that is doing different things, but you can't think of a woman who is, really like hands to the ground, like outside, knowing what's happening, but also is doing it in a way where it's elevated, it's fact checked, it's going to make sense. You're going to understand the story from start to finish, and that has the resources and the relationships that you can honestly be like, yo, I trust what she said. And it's not just happening one time. It's like every single time. I might every now and then tell you a story and just throw my opinion on it. But if I'm telling you something for the first time, there's no time where I'm going to tell you and it just is like, oh, shoot, she was off. And if that ever does happen, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you about it so that you can trust what I'm saying. And I don't think that, like, you know, you're not going to get that nowhere else. Like, you're literally not going to get that anywhere else. And the minute I realized it, I was like, oh, girl, this is gold. So if you don't have the podcast downloaded already, I don't know why you wouldn't want some gold in your back pocket.
Who influenced you in the media space?
Karen Civil, Wendy Williams, Miss Info.
That's who you remind me of, Miss Info.
Yeah, Miss Info, Harvey Levin, Raquel, you were a big, I read your book. I read your first book twice.
You don't have to say that just because I'm sitting here, Loren. That's
First of all, you know I don't even like you enough to say that because you're sitting here. I really read your book twice. Angie Martinez, of course, she was Angie Martinez and Wendy Williams were like, because with them, those were like probably like the two major people because they did it so big, but it was so like they were just so like, you know what I mean? Like they were fly.
They were Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, and it was just like, even now, like, I remember the first day I saw Angie Martinez here, I was like, oh, shoot. And all the producers was like, what's wrong? What's going on? I was like, Angie Martinez just walked by. And it was like, yeah, she works right over there. I was like, y'all don't understand. Because for me, it's like these people are like not real humans. Like they're larger than life. I've watched old clips of hers, old interviews. I've heard all of the old hip hop stories. I've, you know what I mean, read the book.
Why they gotta be old? Classic hip hop stories.
I'm sorry, classic,
yes.
Vintage, throwback, blockbuster.
There you go. All that. Yes. All that.
DVD.
Huh?
Because nobody do that no more.
What do you see for the future of Loren LoRosa and the Loren LoRosa brand?
Well, I see Brown Girl Grinding as a production company becoming like the Nike of content and storytelling. So putting out great things across the platforms like, you know, series, other news platforms, whatever that develops into, because I don't think news is going to be like how it is now. I think with the streamers and with what I'm doing, and once I master what I'm doing the right way, everything is about to change. But we're going to be at the helm of being able to present that and other people's. And, you know, I own the company. But for Loren LoRosa, I see, you know, me being like the biggest trusted voice in the space, and not just like hip hop, like pop culture in general, like anything that is moving, that is important, that you should know, that you should be educated on, that you live your life on. You're going to be like, whoa, what does Loren have to say about this? And who are her constituents? Like, who is she talking to about it? Who is she bringing into it? And whatever the platform may be, because I don't know if it's going to be YouTube. I don't know if it's going to be Twitch. But wherever we land, you know, I'll dominate that space in a way where you have to, like, you can't get around me.
Dominate them all.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if like 2 or 3 years from now, it's where I don't feel like it's going to be what it is right now. I think things are changing so fast.
And we will meet them where they are. You know, there used to be a time back in the day, they said if you build it, they will come. Nowadays, you got to build it and then meet people where they are.
100%.
Now, listen, I need all of y'all to do me a favor because none of y'all made no noise when she asked who downloaded the podcast yet.
I said who didn't have it.
Who didn't have it?
Who has the podcast
yeah, who
already?
downloaded the podcast?
Y'all listen to the podcast?
Y'all lying.
You is a hater.
They lying. But if you haven't, I want you to go to Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure you download the latest with Loren. I want to thank all of y'all for coming out. Salute to Loren LoRosa. Make some noise for LL Cool Bay, y'all. And the main reason I want y'all to download the podcast is because we have a little reception downstairs, right? Uh-huh. With drinks and food. Y'all don't get none of that if you don't download the podcast. That is how you get the free food and the free drinks, by downloading the podcast. Thank y'all for coming out.
Wait. Before y'all go.
I'm sorry.
No, before y'all go, I just want to say thank you to Thea. Where's Thea?
Coach. What up, Coach?
Thank you to Thea, to Sim, to Breakfast Club team, to Charlamagne, to Eli, everybody, Patrick, everybody here that has taken me in and kind of, you know, just massaged me.
Envy, Jess Hilarious.
Yeah, Envy, Jess, like it's really like a family up here. And, you know, I'm the new girl in the family, and they've like just taken me in with open arms. So I appreciate y'all so much.
And thank you to Duce, too, for sponsoring the drinks downstairs.
Yeah, we about to go thank y'all real good.
All right, let's go have some fun, y'all.
Yes.
Thank you.